Hello guys, welcome back. Today, well, you obviously know what we're going to be doing, but okay, let me first go ahead and close that down, get this set up, go into my, not my video settings, my music and sounds. We're going to turn the music off completely. Turn the jukeboxes down a bit. Turn the friendly creatures down. Basically, everything's going to be turned down. Actually, I'll just turn the master volume all the way down for this. Normally, I have it on because normally I'm playing PvP or some form of battle. But today, that's not what we're going to be doing. Today, what we're going to be doing, as I've shown in the title, is we're going to start mapping out the war. Now, if you're not subscribed to my Twitch channel, which makes a lot of sense because I don't have a lot of people who subscribe to my Twitch channel. I think I have like 5 subs. Because, I mean, I never link it in YouTube, and I never really link it in Facebook either. Anywhere. So where we left off on my last stream, I'm just going to introduce it like this, and I probably should have started from the beginning, but this country was controlled by me. Now, I got to a point on my Twitch that I controlled this much territory. Now, this much territory is a large amount of territory, and you may be thinking, well, who and what is up here? And is all of this truly mine? And yes, it was, but at the same time, no, it wasn't, because these guys were enemies, and we were against them. However, they really didn't have a lot of troops over here. It was mainly over in the other 2 countries over there. And I would like to say that yesterday I did record a political video, and I tried to post it, but it was above 16 minutes, so I wasn't allowed to. So, their capital city, what they called it at the time, was Kashka. They are the Islamic State. Just these people were dicks. That's all I'll say. There was one time whenever I went to negotiate with their leader, actually while I was playing the game, and this is mapping out a war on the server from like years and years and years ago. Like, this, I was like 9 or 10 whenever I had the war. And to be honest, it's still going on to this day. There's no one country controlling every bit of land. But there is something cool I want to show you guys. Edits to Minecraft, meaning that I'm still in water. Anyway, that's a cool thing that the game is trying to implement. Striped oak log. Let's go ahead and, stripped oak. This is stripped oak right here. Okay, that's cool. I'm not gonna use that. These are logs. I need the full thing. Hold on. We need the bark. All they got is oak bark, man. Oak, jungle, acacia, all that. I need to get the new... Oopsie doop. There we go. So, we're just going to use dark oak to symbolize this nation up here declaring its independence. Because originally this was a puppet state of my state, Israel, and the other state, Arabia. until this puppet state declared its own independence. However, it didn't define its capital, so its independence was not really recognized by any nation, much less getting the recognition of independence by us, especially considering the fact that he didn't go to war with us yet. He declared his independence, but knew that a war with either of us to gain that independence would be very detrimental. However, his declaration of independence was followed by the fact that there were some over here that still didn't want to be independent and still wanted to be a puppet state. Those people were mainly from my country, and that's why every piece of land was given to me. Instead of being a puppet state where they had their own laws, they were now under my jurisdiction. All because these dickheads declared their independence. Once the war actually did start, they still didn't have a capital, which meant that other nations, such as a nation that we recently went to war with in Prussia, would not help them. Which probably wasn't the greatest idea, but they came to I don't even know if you would call it a peace, because it wasn't really a peace, but they came to a point where they had no military left and were basically forced to come to terms with being a member of my nation. So, because of this, they declared not their freedom, but instead an undefined zone that none of us could enter, which was right here. It was part of our treaty, and none of us could enter it, none of us could take it. They also took all of up here in the treaty, which was giving them a bit much, because we could have just destroyed them, but I was feeling a bit nice. Now, at the end of this part of time, I completely lost all control of my nation. There were several civil wars that broke out before I was ousted from power, but still civil wars nonetheless. We had one in the former lands of Arabia, wishing to set up an Arabian government there, and that one grew quite quickly, especially in the peninsula down here. Now, with this peninsula being absolutely engulfed in war, it divided my nation, essentially. Like, we didn't send troops through here often because there were still Islamic State bombers from whenever this was part of the Islamic State. So, we knew that they would destroy our troops if we sent them through there. And now, this place declaring itself independent, but allied to Arabia. We asked Arabia about it, but they said no, that this place wasn't theirs. We found out later, after I was ousted, my cousin took control of the nation militarily, and we did end up finding out that this whole thing was started by Arabia. And that annoyed me. We found out after they declared that they had ownership over that and all lands west of that point. Now, the big problem with that is these guys started expanding up here too, which meant that they would now have to deal with Islamic extremism. They dealt with it by becoming its master. At this point, Prussia declared war, pushed in, and we started to lose the former land, our land that we gained from Prussia, because we had to have all of our troops stationed somewhere else during other wars at this time. Now that sort of annoyed me. It did tick me off, and it made me officially declare war on Prussia. Like, whenever they took the northern lands, I wasn't at war with them. I didn't care. But after they took that land, I tried to take them back. I actually sent troops up there, pulled all my troops out of the north, and still got my ass handed to me. And this right here is why I was executed later in this story. It's the Islamic State started pushing in from the south, and at that same time, these guys started militarily accepting this area again and pushing south, coming to terms with Arabia. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm feeling about to crap myself. right here. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, yeah. Whenever I pulled my troops from the north to come back and fight this civil war, the Islamic State started to push northward. I know it was like 10 minutes. Let me go ahead and check my OBS real quick to find out how much it was. Ooh, wow. Wow. That was like 15 minutes. Ooh. So, they started to push northward as this unnamed country started to push southward, even taking and declaring war on the Islamic State and getting aid from Arabia. They started to control the north, taking all of the land that did not decide to declare independence whenever it did. Up here, mainly. So, due to this, due to their independence and this whole thing over here, they came to a peace deal with us and took the land right here, giving them the mouth of the river. This heavily declined our economy, leaving us to struggle. I guess I'll put it like that. As civil wars and grit and determination became a big thing in our nation, I was ousted for my awful diplomatic action. But I mean, come on. These were 30-year-olds playing this game. I was like 17. No, not even 17. I am 17 right now. I was like 7. Sorry. So it goes to show you 7-year-olds don't have the best diplomatic action. Obviously, I didn't. I grew an empire, but subsequently lost control of it almost immediately. Which is what a 7-year-old would do. He would send men to die for them. Die for them? Him. Anyway, these guys were intelligent and knew what they were doing. They put their capital right in the field. Right here. Astapor. Which I guess they got from the the Game of Thrones series. Because Astapor was one of the cities within Game of Thrones. Capital of I never knew how to pronounce this. Sharishia. I guess I would say it. I never did learn how to pronounce that because I didn't have many diplomatic actions with them. I went north to try and deliberate with them. Oh, that's cool. I guess if you... No, I guess it only works if you're walking. There we go. Okay, that's cool. So, I went up north. I went northward to try and discuss with them. But as I was going northward, whenever I hit this turn right here, my ship crashed. And I was captured and sent back. Not back to this capital like you would think I would be. But instead, I was sent back to my capital. These guys, the tribal connection. What is this? Oh, okay. Wrong wool color. It's light blue, not cyan. Those are very, very close. So, Austrasia started to push on all fronts, taking lots and lots and lots of their former land. As they pushed down to the borders that they originally wanted, right here, we came to a peace with them and gave them all of the land that was divided from our nation. Which technically meant that they owned right here, and right here. Oh, and this strip of land over here, and those islands over there. And this gigantic island right here, even the ones that were for the rebels. But that's not what they wanted. They moved troops in and officially declared that they were just right here. This was them. I guess really before they had that sort of fascist revolution and started to push their troops outward, they really didn't want to do this. So, this was all they... And during the fascist movement, this is all they really wanted. They had the land leading up to here. They just wanted this peace. But I knew that they had went through several different leaders before our nation started declining. So this one in particular did a very good job. He did a very good job in deciding which way his nation would swerve. With this nation, Sharishia, declaring its independence and capital city, which gave it the support of Arabia and Prussia. It meant to get rid of them would to be declaring war on Arabia and Prussia. And I was not willing to do that. So, yeah. However, my idiotic successor did declare war on Shasharia. There we go. Now I'm pronouncing it normally. I don't know if that's the way that they pronounced it, but that's the way I'm gonna pronounce it. So, and because of this, he actually allied with the Islamic State. Now, they started to cram up the river. They built actual land here. Like, actual tons of dirt was pulled from other places in the world. Most of that being from up here and being exported down to the south by their mining crews. But, blah. So the Islamic State was on a stark decline, and so was my former nation. And because of this, we declared unity to the Islamic State. In exchange, the Islamic State gained this land back, all of it, this land, all of it, and this land. And it didn't even really send us help. It just gave them some land to the south after they lost this war. Because we inevitably got our asses handed to us. I mean, we did not prepare. My cousin, he had a huge problem running the nation. I didn't really leave the nation in that good a shape, to be honest. I barely was getting by beforehand, so he was barely getting by as a nation with corrupt leaders and opposition parties springing up everywhere. I'll just call them Oak Bark at the moment until they actually declare themselves with a name. But these guys declared independence around 2014. So I haven't really played this game in over 6 years. I could declare my opted in owner pass, but, and that's only because I created the game, not the game. I didn't create the game. My friend did that, but I created the game that we were playing in, so because I got absolutely destroyed years before the game would end, I had 2 opt-in passes because I was a creator. If I wanted to go back in and see how the world was, and many people I gave that pass to. Like, I gave the right of the pass to be used for basically anybody. Anybody had 2 other times that they could play. But I didn't invoke those because I already had used one. And so I just decided not to use the other one. I decided I was done with that. Plus, at the time, I was heavily into... I had just learned about Minecraft at that time. Not in 24... No. Was it in 20... No. It wasn't 2014. I played Minecraft back in the beta days. It was because at the time that I created this game. That's why I was saying it. That I created the game match that we were in was in 2012, whenever I bought Minecraft. That's why I was getting confused. Okay, so because this nation was cutting off different parts, we signed a peace treaty with them, giving them right here up to here. And officially giving them a land of no contact right here where native peoples would live. This was a native population reserve before we gave this land, before we annexed the land. So there was a lot of native peoples. No, I know what you're gonna say. The rest of this over here wasn't. It was still your nation, but no. That nation, this part was actually sold to Arabia. Not by us, by them during the negotiations between us and them. They brought Arabia along because they knew they wanted to sell Arabia some land. So they sold them this land. Okay, guys. if you did enjoy this story time, go ahead and let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed the Game of War synopsis and story, and you want me to continue to go on with it, drop a like on this video. I will go on with it. I'm not currently in the war, and I did say that it was going on. And I actually did later use that second pass. So unfortunately, I can't rejoin the game because I used it and then declared myself a leader of a future country. Because remember, this was back in 2015, so I'm still not even there yet. So they did push northward, take this land. They took all of this before we gave them their independence. Essentially, they isolated our west right here from our east right here, and that's why we ended up having to come to the table. So remember, like I said, if you did enjoy this and you want me to do another one of these, let me know and I will, because I enjoy doing stuff like this. So, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.